absolutely a phenomenal opinion by the Court of Appeal in Illinois, and basically trashes everything the sovereign citizen says about not having a contract with the city, not being subject to its rules, that he doesn't have to register his vehicle. Even goes in to describe what they call the utterly discredited sovereign citizen nonsense or ideology. So let's take a look. To the guy's credit, he went all the way through the process. While he's claiming that this doesn't really apply to him, he obeyed pretty much all the administrative procedures in order to appeal a $60 fine, claiming that he wasn't subject to it. So here it says that the Department of Finance issued Norman a notice for a violation of the Chicago Municipal Code for having an expired plate or temporary registration and a fine of $60. And as part of the procedure, the person that issued the citation took photos to show that the license plate had expired tags. A no contract void notation, and he wanted a hearing with the Department of Administrative Hearings to challenge it. He also provided a note. He used the infamous UCC 1-308, Chapter 1 of Uniform Commercial Code, and a handwritten letter addressed to the clerk of the city of Chicago asserting that he was not engaged in commerce and was traveling in his private automobile at the time of the violation. He asserted he did not have any valid contracts with the city of Chicago, nor did he consent to be subject to the city of Chicago's laws, statutes, codes, ordinances, policy, or any corporation contract. And once again, he cited to the Uniform Commercial Code, which, as we've said enough times, has no applicability at all. It is how to perfect security interest in personal property. Okay, it has nothing to do with registration of a vehicle. Do not ticket my automobiles. I am exempt. 6 days later, an administrative law judge. So think about the cost to the taxpayers to go through this exercise over $60. He entered a final decision that Norman did not raise any permissible defenses. Then, true to form, he filed a complaint for an administrative review, and then it went to an appeal. On appeal, Norman contends again that the Chicago Municipal Code at issue applies to commercial motor carriers, not his personal use, and blah, blah, blah. Of course, this can happen to anyone, not just a sovereign citizen, but there's a lot of rules when you file appellate briefs. And if you don't follow the appellate rules, you're in danger right away. Appellate law is its own separate world. Appellate law has its own separate rules. It's not a retrial. Think of it as balls and strikes not being called correctly during the game, and one of them was a game-changing penalty. That's how you have to think of appeals. Norman does not contest that he received a violation notice for an expired registration sticker, nor that his registration had been expired for almost a year. So these aren't even contested facts. These are either conceded or waived because he didn't bring it up. Instead, he primarily argues that the Chicago Municipal Code provision requiring registration does not apply to him because he's not a commercial motor carrier. The Chicago Municipal Code outlines several grounds for contesting a violation. This is all in accord with due process. He didn't raise any of those defenses. His primary asserted defense, and notice they put it in quotations, which is a way to ridicule it, was that he was not just subject to the municipal code because he's not a commercial carrier. He says, Norman's defenses are clearly taken straight from the playbook of so-called sovereign citizens who are persons who clog the court system by espousing nonsensical legal theories. And they gave me here an appellate case. I'm going to pull this one, which imposed a sanction of $5,000 who asserted sovereign citizen theories. These theories have, quote, no conceivable validity in American law. United States versus Schneider. Okay, that's the Seventh Circuit federal case. I'm going to pull that one too. To provide just a few examples here, Norman relies on the Uniform Commercial Code, a statute that has absolutely nothing to do with vehicle registration, which was often cited by sovereign citizens to no avail. I can't say that enough, okay? Of all the statutes, or not statutes, but codes, like, hey man, I'm exempt under UCC 1-308. I'm like, dude, have you even read it? Okay. He also claims to be a flesh and blood living man who did not consent to the city of Chicago in which he resides, using its plenary authority to tax and regulate motor vehicles. Plenary authority is authority that's inherently invested in different government agencies and bodies. And his argument that the city can only require licenses on commercial vehicles is a well-recognized and utterly discredited sovereign citizen theme. Yeah, November 20, 2022. So we've got a very recent appellate court decision. This stuff is now starting to become known to the judges. Done. So this is a cool decision. Not binding anywhere else. May not be cited as precedent, except for limited rules. So this is an unpublished opinion. Unpublished is not what you want. You want published. Then it's citable. Great opinion. Very much like it. And let me know what you guys think.